Yeah, Big E's is live here. I'm gonna hang out for a little bit before I get started. Just catch guys up on some stuff. So we'll hang out here a little bit, see if anybody joins in the next couple seconds. If not, I'm just gonna start bullshitting. All right. Well, we're about fucking 40 seconds into this, so I'm just gonna get started here. So the Camaro is track ready. I already drove it down to my dad's place to start cleaning it up. We may have to bleed the rear brakes one more time, but it does seem like it's about as good as it was before, but I think it can be better with some tweaking, so we might tweak a little bit, but all in all, it's ready to go. So it's down there. I'm gonna start cleaning that up this week, and that way hopefully can get that back in the trailer, and then we can see about getting ready to hit the track, try and get some dates for going to the track, some races, and actually see what this thing can do. So that was whole deal with that. Just today was like, it just fought me. Like we did, I burnished the brakes in the rear shoes, then I bled the brakes, and then I checked the adjusters. Everything seemed like it was adjusted good. There's a little bit of air. Still might be more air in it, I'm hoping. And then when we did that, the seat mounts broke. The welds broke, I should say. So went ahead. I had to take the driver's seat out. One bolt snap and the welds let loose. So I had to take everything apart on the seat, grind everything smooth, re-drill the holes, and then just instead of welding it to the seat, now there was some pre-existing, already threaded bolt holes that were in the seat, so I went ahead and utilized those instead. Power Videos, thanks for joining. Appreciate you joining in. So I found bolts. So we bolted, instead of taking a chance with welding I don't know what that is. Tiny Man Gaming. Hey, how's it going? Gavin Sigma. I hope I'm saying that. Gavin Sigma. I hope I'm saying it right. How you doing? Thanks for joining in. So what we did was I actually found bolts laying around that worked, that were the right thread. Sarah Wright, hey, how's it going? Thanks for joining in. So we bolted the rails. We bolted the rails to the seat. Okay, I guess. How's the day going? Tiny Man, I'm actually going over that right now. So stay tuned. I'm going over the Camaro. The Camaro is track ready, Tiny Man. If you don't mind me calling you that. LKLK, hi, thanks for joining in. So we burnished the brakes on the Camaro. We bled the brakes. We adjusted the rear brakes. Unfortunately, the rails broke off of the driver's seat. So the driver's seat was completely loose, which obviously we can't race that way. So took the seat out. I had to redo the rails. So I was at the point where I was saying we bolted, instead of welding and possibly having the seat catch on fire, we bolted the rails to the pre-existing holes that were in the seat. So we did that. We were able to actually drill another set of holes to actually lower the seat in the car. So now we bolted everything to the floorboard, and the seat is lower and it's more comfortable for me. As far as it's not cramped in, it's actually more comfortable for me to drive. So I'm really hoping that's going to help me as far as with driving, helped me just to focus, and help my vision at the starting line, so I can cut a good reaction time and get, right now it's just, is the car going to run a number? I hope so. I think as far as with the transmission situation figured out, that was my fault. I screwed up the transmission as far as my lack of knowledge of properly shimming a torque converter, and that's my fault. So that's an expensive lesson learned on how to shim a torque converter. What ended up happening, we had to put a new front pump in the transmission. And WISD, hey, how's it going? Thanks for joining. So we put a new front pump in, and here what happened was, apparently I had it too tight, and it sheared the tangs that are inside the front pump that the torque converter locks into when it turns. And that, by spinning, is what gives you your line pressure, which moves the fluid, which gives you directional control of the transmission. So with a new front pump, and now there's no shims in the torque converter at all between the flex plate and the torque converter. It's just straight bolted on there. So it should be at, and I measured it, we're right on the edge at 3/16 of an inch air gap between the torque converter mount and the flex plate. So that's about what you want to be, in case when the torque converter decides to balloon, it gives that space for it to grow from centrifugal force, so you don't knock out a thrust bearing inside your engine, and you don't blow out a front pump in the transmission. So I had it too tight. Luckily, it blew out the front pump on a transmission and not a thrust bearing inside the engine. So I guess there's a silver lining in everything. But anyway, so I just drove it down. Like I said, I drove it down to my dad's place. We're gonna clean it up there to clean it up. I probably need to bleed the brakes one more time. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm tired. I'm talking stupid. But anyway, that's the plan, is re-bleed the brakes. We're going to wash it. We're going to try and get it all waxed, get it all pretty from sitting outside for how many weeks. And hopefully, I'm hoping I can load it up in a trailer, and they'll be inside the trailer. And then we're going to we're going to try and get some races on the schedule, get them on the calendar, and try and get out there to get some racing in, see what this car can do. I'm going to see if I can still drive. So anyway, that's what's going on with the Camaro. The Corvette is now back home. I had an issue the other night with it. It literally flooded. I was driving the car, was running great. All of a sudden, it was, another one of my dumb lessons I had to learn the hard way. The car shuts off, so I pull aside. Here, the carburetor was completely filled, like the barrels were completely filled with gas, like to the top. Like, probably there was a quarter of a gallon of fuel with all 4 barrels full of fuel. So what ended up happening what I figured out was, I was running like, it's a carburetor, like I said, and I was running like 12 or 13 pounds of fuel pressure, which is way too much. You should only be like about 6 to 8 PSI. So I was, pushing almost, double. So what I'm figuring what happened was, because I had the pressure too high, I have an adjustable fuel pressure regulator for a carburetor. So what I ended up doing, I figured I probably have way too much fuel pressure. So now we also, because of so much fuel, it diluted the oil. So at idle, I had 0 oil pressure, which really I did, but because the oil was thin, it wasn't registering. So we got it home. We drove it like, maybe 2 miles that way. So then we went ahead and right away, we dropped the oil, we drained the oil, we changed the oil filter, and they reeked of raw fuel. So I knew that was the issue. So we went ahead, new filter, new oil, we checked the breathers, there's gas in there, we got rid of the fuel in there. And so then today, I finally had a time, went ahead and we backed off the fuel pressure. I think I'm at 8, maybe even 7 PSI of fuel pressure now. And I still running the second fuel pump, which is what I wanted to do. And hang on.
3 or 4?
Do all 4.
Oh, well, we're gonna have to start with 3 because it's down.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, well, we'll
just do 3, and then we can put the other one in there when they're done.
We'll see because he didn't eat anything all day.
Well, yeah, I really didn't either. So yeah, so just do it like that. Yeah, I have to plan dinner, and it's just yeah. Anyway, at least she's helping. So now we got dinner figured out. So where was I? Oh, with the fuel pressure. So we dropped the fuel pressure. I think I'm down to 8 right now, which I could probably drop it more, and I might do that yet. But I was able to keep the second fuel pump going, which gives me more volume. Which volume is fine. And the car really, with the second fuel pump, because I have the one in the tank, and then I'm running a Holly Blue pump external on it. And it really seems like it feeds the motor nicely, and the car really loves it that way. It really runs like no tomorrow. As you saw in the one video I did live, I think, was it Tuesday? I think I did a live where I was driving the Corvette, and you can tell in that video she just loves that second fuel pump with the fuel. Unfortunately, later on that same day after I made the live, I drove it, and that's when it did where it blew the float. So basically what I found out was when you run too much fuel pressure in a carburetor, the floats don't have enough force to close the needle valve. The needle and the fuel comes through your needle valve, and that's what fills your fuel bowl up and feeds into your carburetor. So what can happen if there's too much pressure and that forces the float open, and it forces the needle valve open, it will push fuel so high it'll come up through your vent tube above the bowl and start running like a water faucet into your the actual barrels of the carburetor. And that's what had happened. It filled them up because there was too much pressure, and the float couldn't push the needle valve back down into the seat to close off the fuel. So that's why you only run 6 to 8, maybe even 7, no, 5. I guess you could do 5. I don't know, whatever your particular carburetor likes, but it's extremely low pressure. Like fuel injection can run anywhere from has to run like at least 45 psi to, you can run as high as 65 or maybe even higher if your fuel system's so equipped. But that's because there's no floats. It's a fuel injector, and that pressure's back there, and it just turns it on and off and on, and the pressure atomize in the combustion chamber, which causes more even burning, which anything that's more efficient burning on internal combustion can give you more power. On a carburetor, it has to be low pressure because it's a whole bunch of metering and jets and needle valves and power valves and other stuff. And if you have too much pressure, it can blow right through there, and it won't work the way it's designed to work. So another hard lesson learned. Almost I hydraulic the motor, and luckily nothing got damaged. And now I have the fuel pressure drop way back. I got fuel volume, and so that's a win. So the car, I haven't driven it yet, but I have to tighten the power steering hose on it because now that's leaking somehow. I either didn't tighten it right or it came loose, whatever. I got to look into it, but I want to get that before I take it for a ride. But it does seem like it's running great. The Camaro, like I said, that seems like we're in a good spot with that, so we're gonna go with that. That's pretty much it. I've been real busy with my kids, with my daughter graduated junior high, so my gosh, I have a high school student. So I had that on Wednesday, so I wasn't able to do anything Wednesday really to report on. Tomorrow I may do a live, I may not, I don't know yet. My son will be moving from elementary to middle school. So I have that tomorrow, that ceremony tomorrow to go to. So I don't know if I'll be able to post anything tomorrow, but I will try. Maybe I have to see, maybe I can do another live of some sort with the Corvette or something. We'll see. I don't know. There's a lot of possibilities. I have to see how things play out and go from there. Yeah. The only thing to work on now is the trailer, getting that all. I got projects started on the trailer, so I need to finish that up as well. That will be coming. That pretty much should bring everybody up to spec. I'm again beat, tired, long day. With this warmer weather, really takes it out of me. So I'm going to. I think I'm going to call it a night. It's a little early yet, but you know, usually I do some lives and it's completely blackout, and those are real late nights. But I think the Camaro's as raised as it's going to get. We just have to clean it up and get it loaded up. So that's kind of where we're at, and we'll go from there. So anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap it up here. I'm rambling on, but that's all I got. So thanks for watching. Thanks for checking in, everybody. If you can, please subscribe to my channel, Big E's Auto. It helps support what I'm doing. I got some ideas for content coming up. My whole thing is having time right now. So when I have time, I'm gonna try and make a video. I know I got some stuff coming up with my wife's car that has to get fixed, swapping out wheel bearings. So I have to get that, and I'm gonna try and do a video on that. And then I'm gonna see if maybe the next thing is gonna be, I'm hoping I can get some more action stuff. I'm trying to move that along, but I want to make sure I do it safely. Like I said, this whole thing with the seat, obviously a safety issue. So I think we have that rectified. So we'll go from there. So, all right, everybody, I'm going to go. I'm starting to ramble on, so it's time for me to go. So till next time, we'll see you right here at Big E's Auto. So take care of yourself. Bye for now.